Do you ever ask yourself, I wonder if T3 is doing another Black Friday sale because last year it was ridiculous? Yes, I am. Use this code, save some money, thank me later. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. So guys, I'm sure you understand by now, my fellow adults out there, to be mature and successful, you have to recognize, accept, and admit when you've made a mistake, when you're wrong about something. And I gotta admit to you today, I don't have much experience doing that because I'm almost never wrong. But there are a few watches that I've been wrong about in the past, and yeah, the more experience and knowledge I've gained, I've kind of flipped the script a bit on these watches, so let's clarify some things. It's 1:16 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright guys, so in a recent episode I mentioned that I was initially wrong about the Breitling Exospace, specifically the B55 yachting. When I first learned about that watch, I thought it was kind of silly. Okay, it connects to your phone, has some kind of wonky colors going on there, not something I'd really be interested in. But then, just before the whole COVID outbreak and before all the lockdowns here in Los Angeles, I went to a Breitling boutique here in SoCal and I actually put one on, and it was actually really nice and I kind of enjoyed it. So yeah, it is kind of wonky with the colors, but somehow it works. And so I spoke a bit too soon about that watch, so I'd like to clear the record. The Breitling Exospace B55 yachting, I actually kind of like that watch. I know. Feels naughty saying that. And guys, in the same vein, there's another watch that, again, kind of similar in a way. I thought it was kind of loud and obnoxious, kind of like me actually. Hey, maybe I don't like these watches because they remind me too much of myself. I think I had an epiphany, guys. I need to tell this to my shrink. Anyway, I'm talking about the Yacht-Master II. Okay, so the B55 yachting from Breitling onto the Rolex Yacht-Master II. I thought that this was kind of the Guy Fieri of watches, and it's kind of funny that I say that because Guy Fieri actually owns one of these and he's in a lot of shows with this on his wrist. It's just a large, kind of weird looking Rolex, but the more I've seen them in person, and I've got to play with one a few times, the more I think it's actually really interesting. The complication is really, really cool, very, very functional. If you have the ability to own one of those watches, you probably also have the ability to spend some time on yachts, and then you'd actually, have use for that complication, and you'd probably even appreciate that watch even more. Now, personally, I don't know. I think I like the two-tone best. However, the solid yellow gold is really cool, and that white gold variant also. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I almost don't want to admit it because I really rallied against this watch when I first learned about it, but the truth is, I've kind of come around to this watch. So the Breitling Yacht-Master II, I actually like that more than the Yacht-Master I. To clarify a little bit more though, this wouldn't be like my first modern day Rolex pick though, not by a long shot, but yeah, I'm warming up to it. Okay, so next up I want to talk about two watches that I was wrong about, but for kind of different reasons. Okay, so the Hamilton Jazzmaster Open Heart. For my longtime viewers, you will know I owned one of those watches and I made numerous episodes with it, and yeah, I really liked it. Kind of. I know, it's weird. When I first learned about that watch and I saw all the media photos, man, I had to have one, and I bought one. And then when I got it in my hot little hands, I still thought it was gorgeous, and I thought it was, man, even more beautiful in person. But then when I put it on my wrist, it didn't look right. There was something about it, it just didn't fit me. And I don't mean the dimensions were wrong. I mean, I didn't like how it looked on my wrist, and that's kind of an intangible thing to try to explain to you guys, but I don't know. I never enjoyed it as much as I wanted to, and that's why I inevitably sold it, or eventually sold it, I should say. But yeah, I really wish I liked that watch more because, again, I think it is an absolutely beautiful watch with a ton of detail. It just wasn't for me. Now, another watch I currently own, I was also wrong about. So the Mudmaster triple sensor, I said that is perhaps the ultimate SHTF watch. I just want to say, you know what, I'm just going to say it. Gato, do your thing. Hits the fan watch. This is kind of the end of the world apocalypse watch. It's a tough watch. I've worn it everywhere, camping, in national parks, hiking, in the snow. It's just a really fun, very functional watch. But I gotta say, when I first learned about it, I thought it was a big hunk of junk. I was like, wow, who would put that on their wrist? Even for a G-Shock wearer like me, that is ugly. It is huge and it looks like a toy. And then I held one and I was like, I'm gonna order one. Funny how that works. So yeah, I don't need to go off on a long tangent about the excuse me, I have Breitling on the brain, about the G-Shock Mudmaster triple sensor, because we all know how much I absolutely love that watch. But yeah, I gotta admit, I spoke too soon. Okay, so here's another watch that I've been wrong about, and it's also a Rolex. Now, I've said numerous times on this channel, I'm not a big fan of modern day cosmographs, or as we like to call them, Daytonas. And it's true, for the most part, a lot of these modern day Daytonas, I am not a big fan of. I just don't really like the way they look, and I think it's more that I just really prefer the vintage variants. But there's one that I just often think about because two people I personally know picked one of these up, and now that I've seen them a bunch, it's kind of just grown on me, and I really do like it. And I'm talking about the white dial, black ceramic bezel, stainless steel. It just looks good. It looks sporty. It looks functional, like a tough chronograph that you can wear in a sporty situation, but it's also with that 40mm oyster case, slim lugs. You can put that on a multitude of straps and you can kind of dress it up. It's very versatile. I think it's very tasteful and kind of unoffensive or inoffensive with that white dial. I think they pull it off really well. And the black bordered registers, it just looks really nice. Now, the frustrating thing is that I've come around to this watch. It has a retail price of $13,150, but you can't find them for that price. Good luck. So guys, I don't know what it is about this specific colorway of this modern Daytona. I think, okay, so you know how I love the Explorer 2 16570? Of course, I got the Polar variant because that's my favorite. I don't know if it's because I finally own one of those that now I'm looking at other Rolex slim lug oyster case watches with white dials and I'm like, Yeah, I'm a little bit late to the party though with this variant of Daytona, because we all know finding them in stainless steel, this specific dial, you're never gonna find one anywhere near $13,000. It just won't happen. And how about we talk about another Rolex? Wow, this Rolex fanboy is apparently very, very wrong about a multitude of Rolexes, and it's true, guys, I'm not perfect. Here's a watch that I thought I was in love with that I'm not at all. In fact, I detest it in a way. I'm talking about the Rolex Wimbledon. Now, this is a Datejust, and reference number 116333, I believe, and it is beautiful in the pictures, I will say, or I thought. Now when I look at the media photos, I think it's just really ugly, but for some reason, I thought that this was a gorgeous watch until I went to a Rolex boutique. I got to put one on the wrist and it was just ugly. It was too big. The colors didn't work together in my opinion. It looked silly. I don't know. I thought that this was a gorgeous watch and I thought I was gonna buy it, and then when I put it on the wrist, I just didn't like it. It's very strange how that works. You can lust over something. Let me fix my beard. I know you guys are lusting over this beautiful mane I have here. Not so much here. It just kind of all fell down on here. But I lusted over that Rolex Wimbledon and put one on the wrist and it just wasn't for me, man. I don't know if the mic's picking that up, but we have a garbage truck on the street. They probably heard I was talking about this Rolex Wimbledon. They're like, hey, you got some garbage? We'll take it out for you. Moving on to a watch I was wrong about, and it's not a Rolex, although it is definitely a heavy hitter. Lange. I'm talking about the Lange Datograph, guys. Okay, so the Lange Datograph is a watch you absolutely love or hate. People love it because of how complex it is and complicated and the attention to detail and all the things the watch does. And oh my God, the dial layout's so unique, and it's a Lange. Lange, for God's sakes. Well, I thought that they were terrible. I never found them interesting. I understood why people liked them, but for me personally, I just thought it was too much watch. Like, okay, is it a dress watch? Because it's too thick and chunky to be a dress watch, but then it's not a sports watch because I think that has like maybe a 30-meter water resistance rating, and if you even tap that thing somewhere, you're gonna need to take it to a watchmaker to make sure everything is all good and set properly. So it's definitely not a sports watch. That all changed when I saw the Perpetual Tourbillon Datograph, the salmon dial white gold. Mama, I need one. I need one of those watches. I don't care if it doesn't fit under the cuff. I'll just get a cuff tailored a little bit wider so that I can wear that baby with a nice fitted suit. Which I will never have to wear because what am I gonna do? Dress up to be stuck in this prison I call my office? But all jokes aside, that Lange Datograph Perpetual Tourbillon salmon dial white gold, something about that. First of all, I'm a sucker for salmon dials. Second of all, I'm a sucker for white gold. I think stealth wealth, chef's kiss. But the contrast between that cool steeliness of the white gold, of course it's not steel, it is white gold, but you still get that cool metallic look. And you get that interesting contrast with that salmon dial. It's just gorgeous. So in my opinion, they have multiple variants of the Lange Datograph. The Perpetual Tourbillon salmon dial, that's the one to go. That's the one to go with, excuse me. It is a pretty penny. I'm not gonna be getting one this year probably, but if I am in the market for one, it's going to be for the Perpetual Tourbillon. And I was wrong about it, guys. When people first asked me my opinion on that watch, I said, get it out of my face. Until I saw that variant. So I'm not too proud to admit I was wrong. Moving on to the final watch I was wrong about. AP. That's right, I had to finish this episode up with Audemars Piguet. This is gonna be, I've said it multiple times because people always ask me about once a week during my live stream about the AP Royal Oak. And I always go on this kind of tangent, and it's like a long-winded story, but I'm gonna give you the cliff notes. I initially really liked the AP Royal Oak. I thought it was industrial in a very sleek, sharp way. It was very inoffensive while still looking kind of rough and tumbled. You had the screws through that angular bezel. It looked sharp where it needed to be sharp, and it was sleek where it needed to be sleek. But again, kind of industrial, almost machine-like. And then AP did the offshore and all the different offshore variants, and then they did these AP Royal Oak concept variants, and then every different type of variant that AP came out with, or I should say every new release that AP came out with was just a Royal Oak, and Audemars Piguet turned into just Royal Oak. I got sick of it. I turned against the Royal Oak so fast, I said, give me something else. I'm sick of it. And the first 2 years on this channel, all I did was complain about how AP is the Royal Oak, and it's boring, it's uninspired. I think I bumped the camera there. I'm sorry, I'm so heated about this. Here's what happened. AP listened to us somehow. I don't think I was on their radar, but they were listening to us, and they were like, you want something different? Fine, here! And they overcorrected, and they gave us that ghastly code 1159, I think it was called. And people were like, oh my God, okay, you gave us something else. We can't get mad at you for that, but we can get mad at you for giving us this abomination that I don't know what it is. I was gonna say the Antichrist, but I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone, but that thing is hell on earth. So, okay, we can admit that AP was doing a good thing with the Royal Oak, so maybe if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because then they released that jumbo, that I think they called it the salmon dial, but it's really more of a champagne dial. And when I saw that, I think it came out SIHH 2019, or maybe it was Basel World 2019, but one of those shows, they released that jumbo, ultra thin salmon dial, champagne dial, and I was like, man, okay, I'm back. I get it. I like the Royal Oak. It's expensive. It is overhyped for what it is. We can admit that, but multiple things can be true at the same time. I think the AP Royal Oak is overrated. I think it is overhyped, and I think people kind of make it something that it's not, but I can also admit it's a dang good watch. It's a sleek watch. It's a sharp watch, and I'd love to have one, especially that champagne dial jumbo version. So yeah, guys, I think, what was that, 8 watches that I was wrong about. And guess what? I promise you, the longer I get interested in watches, the longer this list will grow, because people learn things, opinions change, and I'd be an idiot not to admit that, yeah, my opinions have changed on some of these watches. Don't worry, Tudor, still garbage. Tag Heuer, never. But yeah, guys, I want to gain your perspective. Please, in the comment section, let me know, what watches have you been wrong about and what kind of flipped for you? Because I'm sure some of these watches you also have some opinions about. So leave me that comment. I'd love to interact with you there. And it's always very fun to hear what you guys think, because there's a lot of parallel thinking in this hobby. Obviously, all of us are thinking about watches. And I know whenever I bring up the Yacht-Master II, people are almost scared to admit that they're like, oh, it's ugly, but oh, you like it? You like it? Yeah, me too. I secretly like it too. So it's fun. I know all of us can, there's some weird watches that are like out of our characters that we can admit that we like. And I think the Rolex Yacht-Master II, it's kind of weird and gaudy, but I would absolutely wear one for sure. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this, you know, we gotta swallow our pride sometimes, guys. So this was an episode that had to be made, and I'm happy that you were here holding my hand through it all, because man, it's like therapy almost, yelling into this camera. So guys, there's a bunch of ways to support the channel if you enjoy what we're doing here. You can check out the affiliate links in the description below. That'll take you to my Amazon affiliate store. That's a great way to directly help the channel. You can join the channel. You get 6 pieces of content a week, plus access to that members only Discord chat. There's over 100 of you over there, $4.99 a month. The T3 army is growing, and honestly, that's like the most direct way of helping us as far as, you know, keeping these lights on, keeping the camera going, and paying my editors. And yeah, you know, the easiest way though is just to keep doing what you're doing and watching the episodes, because we work so hard. We literally film every day now here, and it wouldn't mean anything without you watching the stuff. So we're so happy that you're here. Thank you so much. And check out www.thetimetellershop.com. We might be doing something for Black Friday. I don't know. We will be doing an enormous sale for Black Friday. We sold out in record time last year. Do not miss out. I love you guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing my white dial Explorer 2 16570, and I was talking about it earlier, and I didn't even refer you to my wrist. It's right here.